and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Jabertha Atkinson, your guide for this enlightening journey. Stick around, we have an informative and engaging show lined up just for you.
One thing we need to remember is that there are many persons out there in our family, community, wider society, who may be having challenges, and that these persons sometimes need to be heard, sometimes need to be helped, sometimes need to be hugged, right? And the best we can do to promote mental wellness in our community is just to be there for people, to be able to hear them, to be able to hug them, to be able to help them, you know? And let's all be our brother's keeper and make this place a better place and a place that is conducive to good mental health and mental wellness.
Thanks for staying with us. As Child Month winds down, we're taking one last stroll, literally. Lace up your shoes and join us on the Wellness Walk, where we explore simple, powerful ways to boost mental well-being for the whole family.
Hi, I'm Orchid. I know. When you hear my name, you think of luxury, strength, and beauty. But currently, there is nothing beautiful about my situation. I am unemployed, having lost my job to the economic effects of COVID-19, and I don't know how long I can cope. Plus, I've struggled with mental illness in the past. There's so many thoughts flying through my head during the days, and at nights, others keep me up. I understand that being down sometimes is a natural part of life, but it's not that. The stress, the anxiety, the worry, they keep getting worse. Of course, some days are better than others because I have medication to help. But even with that, some days are really bad. Okay, you may feel bad for me, and empathy is fine. But here's a bit of good news. I've been learning some techniques to help me deal with the problem. So if your story sounds similar to mine, then maybe you could apply these techniques as well.
There's a direct correlation between what you eat and how you feel, and some foods have an enduring impact on your mental health. How do you feel after drinking a cup of coffee? Or how do your children react after having sugary drinks? You get my point, right? So if you're struggling with mental illness, now may be the time to start eating a healthy and balanced diet. Here's what we're adding: various fruits and vegetables, and lots of it where possible. Our whole grain bread and cereals are a good addition to the mix. So too are nuts, seeds, dairy products, and proteins in the right proportion, and lots of water. Never forget that any diet that's good for your physical health is just as good for your mental health.
If alcohol is in your glass too often, then it might be a contributor to your mental illness. The truth is that while many of us drink alcohol to change our mood or to deal with things like worry or abandonment, the effect is quite fleeting. Alcohol withdrawal is real, and there's nothing good about it, because when that drink wears off, you'll only feel worse. And of course, there's the damage too much alcohol does to your body. Occasional light drinking is okay and enjoyable for a lot of people. Just remember, everything in moderation. And just like alcohol, smoking or using drugs provides a short-lived high. And after that, then what? Cigarette and drugs don't solve the problems associated with mental illness. They only mask and eventually worsen them.
Here's another link between body and mind: exercising. When we exercise, the activities release endorphins that improve our mood and provide a relaxed sensation throughout the mind and body. Regular exercise can improve your self-esteem and help you concentrate, all while keeping the brain and other organs healthy. And get this, exercising doesn't have to just be about going to the gym or doing sporting activities. It can be as simple as a walk, anything that keeps your mind active.
Sleep and good mental health are good friends. When you get enough sleep, it is easier to cope with stress, solve some problems, concentrate, and even think positively. While many doctors recommend 8 hours of sleeping, your body will tell you how much you need. You'll know you're getting enough when you do not feel so sleepy or extremely tired during the day. I get that sometimes we have a lot to do, and it is easy to think that we can get more done if we can cut back on our sleep time. But get this, it becomes harder to get things done when we do not get enough sleep.
If things are getting too much for you and it's becoming hard to cope, then ask for help. Your family or friends may be able to offer a listening ear or even practical solutions. You could even consider joining a support group or find a counselor to help you deal with your feelings. It's important to know that there are effective treatments for mental illness, and people who get proper care can recover and learn to cope and experience fulfilling lives.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Every child deserves to know where they come from. So today we're shining a light on an important step in honoring a child's identity, getting dad's name on that birth certificate.
For children whose father's name is not on their birth certificate, what we find is that for legal purposes, persons want inheritance. Most times we need proof of paternity. And which other way would you show that John Brown is the father of this child if his name is not on the birth certificate? It makes it much more difficult when they are supposed to be probating the will.
So my name is not on my child's birth certificate. How could I add it?
Well, there are three means by which a father's name can be added to a child's birth record. One is that he signs at the time of the registration. So if the registration is done at the hospital today, he visits the hospital to sign within the window of the mother being there and signs. Now, if it's a case where the father is not available, or he's out of the island, or he's otherwise engaged, then the other means by which he can add his name is by what we call a Form E. Now, this document is signed by both parents in the presence of the Justice of the Peace, and they would have submitted their IDs along with the form once it is signed. This form, though, is valid for 42 days, and it's 42 days from the date of registration. After 42 days, the form is not valid.
But my child is already 1 year old. That time has well passed. What can I do?
The next means by which the name can be added is by what we call a status form. Now, this form is utilized once the child is over 6 weeks old. Once the child is over this time frame, what it means is that you'd have to complete the status form have it signed in the presence of the Justice of the Peace. Both parents would submit their IDs, and the father would have submitted his birth certificate. There's a cost attached to this service once a child is over 6 weeks.
I'm a full-blown adult. My father is 1 foot in the grave. Can I still add him to my birth certificate?
There are no restrictions to what time frame you can add your name. If the child is 100 and the father is still alive, then of course he can send the status form in order to add his name to the child's birth record. If the father is deceased, then it makes it a little bit more complicated because he's not here to sign. He's not here to vouch to say that he's actually the father of this child. So with that, you'd have to go through the court, do the necessary documentations in terms of affidavit and all that in order to add the father's name to the child's birth record.
My situation is a bit different. My daughter now lives overseas, but it is something that I've always wanted to do. Is it still possible?
If the child is overseas, then it would not affect the processing of that application because the requisite documents really involves the parents. So once the mother is here in the island, she can sign, and if she's not in the island, then the form is on our website. It can be pulled down, printed, completed in the presence of a notary public, and then the original is sent to us or to the applicant who will be applying for the birth certificate. Now, bear in mind that when you're adding the father's name to the child's birth record, is what we call a record updating activity. So if it's not the child or the mother who's coming to do this application, the application should accompany a permission letter.
RGD register my son wrong and give him another man's name. I need for them correct that. So how that I go?
Once it affects the child's identity in terms of who they really are, like a brown to a gray, that changes a little drastic. So of course, you know, you'd have to go through the court where DNA would have been ordered to prove the true paternity of the child, and then a court order is sent to the RGD to do the necessary changes to the birth record or to create a new birth record depending on what is ordered by the court.
My baby mother no stop growing me. Every time me tell her to add my name, it's a different issue. What me fi do?
In adding the father's particulars to the child's birth record really requires the consent of both parents. So there is no two ways about it, because only these two people can tell that yes, I am the parent or parents of this child or children. Now, if it's a case where one parent is not consenting to adding the particulars of the father, or the mother is not consenting to adding the particulars to the child's birth record, there's not much that the RGD can do in terms of pursuing this application, because the requirement is that both of them has to sign. So mommy has to say, yes, this man is the father of the child, and this man acknowledge that, yes, I am the father of the child. Only in that way that the father's particulars can be really added to the child's birth record, because it's a declaration that you're making to say that, yes, we are the parents of this child or children.
My name is on my child's birth certificate, but the spelling is incorrect. How can I fix that?
It depends on the variation of the name. If it's a case where the father can substantiate that the name should have been spelled this way by using his birth certificate and other proof, then the RGD can treat it as a clerical error. So we first have to determine what is the name and what is the name that you require, and what evidence do you have to support the name that you really want. We've had instances where mothers show up at the hospital with more than one daddy, and we find that the truth always comes out when questions are being asked. Now, whether there is one gentleman for the KFC, one for the Burger King, one for the rent and the other miscellaneous stuff, make sure that the name that is being added to the record is the biological father of the child. So I always encourage mothers, do it right the first time, because in correcting this error, it is a very tedious process. It has to go through the court. We can't just write John Brown and then you come back to say, no, it's not John Brown, it is Tom Stokes, and we just take the pen and cross out John Brown. It cannot be done like that. It has to go through the court where there has to be proof of who the biological father of the child is, and the only way you can determine that is through a DNA, which is quite expensive. So I usually encourage our mothers to do it right the first time.
BGLC, the regulatory body. We regulate, you play without worry. We regulate, you play. BGLC, fair play when you play. For the fun of the game, you know when they are. BGLC, keep it fair for the player. You play the game and we are the rules that keep everything fair, so the game play better. The Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. We ensure fairness, integrity and responsible gaming practices. Keep the game fair and fun for everyone. We regulate, you play.
It's very important that we all take care of our mental health. Good mental health, mental wellness impacts on and will affect how we live within our family, interact with family members. When we enjoy good mental wellness, it impacts on how we function in school, function at the workplace, relate to members in our community, members at church, and the wider society. So it's very important for us to enjoy mental wellness. There are some important things that we need to do. First of all, take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. It's also important for us to establish high value, healthy social connections, yes? What we find is that people who live longer, live healthier on a daily basis are people who invest in good social relationships, with your family, with your friends, people at school, people at the workplace, people in your community of faith. So it's so important for us to find time to invest and to interact with people. It's also important for us to recognize that, mental illness can affect anyone in the community, anyone in our family, and that when we're not doing well, it's so important for us to seek help very early. I know we live in a society where there's a lot of negative attitudes, high level of stigma towards mental health and mental illness. But it's so important for us to, when we're having problems, when we're having difficulty, be it not sleeping well or struggling at the workplace, difficulty studying at school, or problems relating with others around us, indicate that we're having some mental health challenges, yes? And when these things are happening to us, it's important for us to seek professional help early. And in seeking professional help, it's so important that we choose people who are adequately trained, because there are lots of people who are out there practicing who are not adequately trained, and they can give us wrong advice, treat us in inappropriate ways. We're also living in a world, post-pandemic, after the pandemic, where we've seen a surge in mental health problems, especially among young people. Depression, suicidal ideation, problems adjusting to school and so on. And we're seeing it, based on the number of persons young people who are coming forward for help. And what I want to advise parents, family members, teachers, and so on, to recognize that our young people are having mental health challenges. And when they present, let us listen to them, respond to them in a non-judgmental manner, and most importantly, encourage them to seek help very early. It's very important, because too many young people have found that they have not been able to achieve their goals in studying or career goals because of mental illness and not having gotten treatment early in their illness. So I encourage us, encourage our young people, support them to seek help when it's necessary.
What better way to wrap up Child Month than with some good vibes? In this uplifting feature, reggae icon Richie Spice takes us on a musical journey filled with rhythm, roots, and real talk.
I see myself as the voice of the people without voice.
Change your ways now, young juvenile, change your ways. Whoa, it better be today, go change your ways. Some type of liberty, it not gonna wait. No.
Richie Spice heralds himself as a catalyst for change for the voiceless. But first, he had to find his own voice. One of 11 children, that was not always easy to do. So, he did what most younger children do, follow in the pathways fashioned by their older siblings. Born in the community of Rockall, St. Andrew, the singer is the younger brother to Pliers of the duo Shakademus and Pliers.
I know this little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses.
As well as the chill singer, Spanner Banner.
If there's trouble at home and you can't take a pain, boy, baby, come chill with me.
And I sit and watch them play the music over the years, and it has inspired, and then it becomes a part of me.
Richie remembers the trials he endured as an aspiring musician.
We went to studio, which means we went to record and, producer send you back, you're frustrated, you sleep overnight at studio.
There were a lot of ups and downs, but...
One day, brother Spanabana brought me to Tough Gang studio, and I met this gentleman by the name of Clive Hunt. He was working there with a next virgin by the name of Computer Paul, playing a rhythm, but I was just there at the time, but I wasn't the one who was supposed to. The time wasn't for me, it was for our next artist, but the next artist never showed up at the time.
His brother told him to go into the studio booth and sing. That was when he belted out a song called
Grooving My Girl.
Grooving my girl, whoa, I can see the angel in your eyes.
Grooving My Girl now was a song which mean, whenever time I used to go to studio, I didn't have to say, oh, my brother is Pliers and bigger brother is Panabana. Grooving My Girl is a song that give me a run, which mean I could say, go to a producer and say, I did this song, and say, oh yeah.
And while Jamaica was grooving, the international reggae scene was waiting.
Watch those places you walk and mind the way you talk. Watch out for the vampires who will sneak up in the dark. Watch out for the big time thief who claim say that them smart. But I bring in the crack and the gun for to mess up the youths them mad.
Earth Around Red is a song which mean, catapult I and a more international vibration, while linking up with Fifth Element and TV and, get a little management behind and a little strength. It catapult I a little farther in the music industry, yeah?
They say that imitation is a form of flattery, and Richie is an example in this regard.
Everybody starts from somewhere. If you check the artists, most artists pattern somebody before them find them true inner self. Yeah, when them find them true inner self now, then you find that them come out and express themselves express them true self.
Incidentally, the younger brother is enjoying more musical success than his brothers in whose footsteps he followed.
Life is a gamble, but it's a game I wanna play with you. Yeah, yeah. I know it's a gamble, but I know I won't lose my love for you.
He recounts that his other influences grew from the interest of another brother who worked at a radio station back in the day.
He normally bring home he used to have a turntable. Sunday morning, he normally play the songs like the LP them and the 45 and thing. You know, normally play people like Bob Marley, Burning Spear, the Gregory Isaac, you talk about Sweet Cocotte, but Beresford a man, those type of people. So we grow under the influence of those music. Those music grows up as a child coming up, yeah? And we keep it up until today.
Once upon a time when the kids need to play, they used to go to the park. Why? Mom always says, son, go take up a book. Now they say, take up your tablet.
Reggae music often serves as a voice for the oppressed and a catalyst for change. This symbolic gesture can be found in the brown-skinned artist's work.
Whatever we write and put out there, you know, that the younger generation going to listen still, you know, and we'll keep it that way and keep it on a moderate vibration, which means, you know, acceptable to the world.
And how does he feel about the non-Jamaicans partaking in the music?
Artists come here from Europe and you see a gentleman might rise them say, yes, why the music gone, the music not that Jamaica again. Done now, the music cannot leave Jamaica because Jamaica is the grassroots of reggae music as the tree, the birth. So it was birth here, man, so it cannot leave. And we're glad when the people then come and take a little piece of it and share it and go spread it bigger.
Richie admits he's been all over the globe and has seen how significant the musical reach of reggae is.
People who speak English, people who don't speak our language, Latin, whatever they speak, you know, I mean, people still understand, people sing with you word to word, you know, and show that they appreciate love the music and the appreciation of the whole vibration of the beat, yeah?
So, what's next for Richie Spice?
The journey continues.
Of course it does. The artist released his latest album in 2023 and is enjoying the success of his 14-track label.
Internet boys, internet girls, living in a digital world. Internet boys, internet girls, them call it the modern world.
As we wrap up today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we hope you found these features informative and engaging. Let's stay connected through our website, jis.gov.jm, and on social media. On behalf of the production team, I'm Jabertha Atkinson. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.